And we're back, and we are now recording. All right, thank you guys for getting on. I appreciate it. We'll try to do this in 20 minutes, so I want to value everybody's time. I do want to hit some of these concepts, though, as I feel they're hugely important for our life. And a little bit about this program. I saw this program a couple of years ago from a doctor in our region, downriver, and I didn't get it. And so it was just so, this concept of biohacking and nutrigenomics and nutrigenetics was so emerging at the time. Then about a year later, a compounding pharmacist that I worked close with had invited me to look at this for some of my clinical patients as well as some personal coaching clients. And still, it still was over my head. It was over my pay grade, but I researched it throughout that night. And it really brought a lot of, it just brought a lot of sense, and it gave me a lot of hope for a lot of conditions that we were dealing with at the time. So with that in mind, if somebody can kind of give me a thumbs up or shoot me a text and let me know that the recording's coming through, we'll go ahead and get going. It's 8:05, so I kind of want to stick to the timeline. But if somebody could do that, that'd be awesome. All right, so my name is John Rankin, and I run a corporate collaborative right now. I have been in the health industry for the last 9 years. I've been, Carrie and I have been married. We got married in the early 90s, and we have 3 kids. Just a little bit about my background. My oldest is at Notre Dame, just got his master's and just finished his first year of his doctorate, as well as my middle daughter. We're super excited. She's been in Australia and Japan for the last 6 months, and we pick her up this Saturday in Chicago at O'Hare. So we're excited to get her back. And I have a 13-year-old as well. I am a certified health coach. I also went through the holistic MBA program in transformational coaching. Transformational coaching basically has to do with, we all are told certain information. We might have a good doctor, practitioner, even a pastor that tells us good information, but good information doesn't always translate into life transformation. We know what to do, but we don't follow through. We get stuck. Something holds us up. And so we're trained in that and helping people kind of get over their own excuses and have some accountability. You know, we like to support people, but we like to stretch people as well. That's what a coach does. I've played a lot of sports in my life, and a good coach pulls us, you know, to draw more out of ourselves. And so I got board certified with the AADP, but I left that in 2015, and I joined the Institute for Functional Medicine. And it's just been remarkable. My training is in GI health. I coach a lot of gut health patients and autoimmune issues. A little bit about functional medicine, so that you know, if you've never heard of functional medicine, it kind of combines the best of both worlds. It takes holistic health practitioners, alternative and complementary medicine, throws them on the same team with Western allopathic medicine practitioners, and puts the patient right at the center. And the goal is to get to the why. You know, a lot of times we're symptomatic and we have a health issue, but why, you know, instead of just treating that symptom, let's treat the whole person and try to figure out the root cause. Where's the systematic breakdown, and how can we restore the body as naturally as possible, as minimally invasive as possible, to be able to restore proper cellular function. And that's why I love the functional medicine program. I highly recommend that, you know, if you're dealing with, you know, an issue, that you have a functional medicine practitioner that's a part of your team. You won't regret it. With that, I joined the Functional Nutrition Alliance. It's an alliance between the Health Coach Institute and the Institute of Functional Medicine. Just a short period ago, we developed this alliance, and it's been really amazing. Some of the matrices that have come out of that, that's really helped with patient care. Another thing, this December, I'm pretty proud of this. I was put on faculty status at the Wellness Council of America. And if you don't know about WellCola, it's the largest corp well provider. It's been around 35 years and has 10 million members. And it's a big deal. And they have amazing information. And that was a great, blessing to be part of their network. And then I'm also a founding member of the Health and Wellness Business Association. That's kind of the better business bureau of the health world. So that's something that you can't really join. You have to be opted into. But I looked at LifeVantage about a year ago. I got involved. I've had so many people on these products, and they're just amazing. And you'll get a quick overview of that. Guys, I'm not here to sell you any products. I'm here to sell you on yourself and to take care of yourself. And one of the better ways to do that is to find affordably, clinically validated products. And so we have some of those. But let's just dive in right now with some of the self-efficacy things. I promoted on Facebook that, we can either hijack our health or we can biohack our health. And my goal is for everyone not to really be taught or mentored, but to be trained so people can own their own health. That is the goal. That is the goal of any supplement or Activin, in our case, is to restore proper cellular function so that the body can operate the way it should be, the way that it was designed to do. So this term, I want you to kind of write it down if you're new to it and study it. It's called self-efficacy. The psychologist Albert Bandura defined this as one's belief in one's own ability to succeed in specific situations or to accomplish a task. I see this so much. People, when we get sick, and I call it going around the mountain, we jump from practitioner to practitioner, and they can't seem to find the root of the cause. Or maybe we've yo-yo dieted all of our life, and we just lose the faith that we can actually, regain our health, get control of our metabolism. And this is something that we need to be bold. We need to be able to be properly taught, curated information, and then to be able to, sometimes with a coach at first, but then to be able to own that, understand our own bodies, listen to it, know what works, know what doesn't, and then you will own it for life. So #you. I want to give you 7 or 8 different little tips on how you can best take care of yourself. This is how you can not hijack your own health, but take care of your health through self-efficacy. And the first one is to eat clean. Now, my formula for successful eating is threefold. Eat healthy fats, clean proteins, and high fibrous foods. Healthy fats being fish, wild-caught fish, olive oil, avocado oil, grass-fed butter, nuts and seeds. Yes, healthy fats, the healthier fats that you eat, the less fat that you will be. It's come out that the sugar industry has cleverly demonized healthy fats and saturated fats for all these years. And it's coming out that since we've gone on this low-fat diet, obesity rates have skyrocketed in America. So we want to include those in our diet. And if you're on a weight loss program, a good 50% of your diet should be in healthy fats. That would be considered a ketogenic diet, or what they used to call high fat, low carb. You also want to eat a lot of clean protein, grass-fed beef, cage-free poultry, wild game, things like this. And then gut-friendly fiber. These are fruits and veggies, nuts and seeds, non-starchy ones, greens, and basically eating the whole rainbow of non-starchy. The more diversity, the better. Your gut, you'll definitely feel a lot better. So we want to eat clean foods, but we also want to live dirty. Now, what I mean by this, don't take this into the gutter. We need to avoid all these antimicrobial soaps and all these different sanitizers and toxic, cleaning household products and Bounce fabric softener and all these different things. I'm going to give you some resources at the end. I'm going to send you 2 PDFs for those people that want it, some of my favorite functional and integrative and holistic health practitioners and all their web links, and also another PDF with a dozen or more of my favorite health eating food blogs. So you'll get lots of great recipes. But one of those doctors, Dr. Robin Chuck King, the head of gastroenterology at Georgetown University, she has the Digestive Center for Women.com and the Digestive Center of Wellness, has a book out that lets us know when we nuke our microbiome with good intentions, trying to kill, the bad germs, we also kill our first line of defense, those good germs that are there to protect us, and that makes up our whole microbiome. And so we want to just, rinse our hands off gently with water, just use good old soap. The next tip is to hydrate. Now, guys, with summer coming on, you really need to drink at the minimum 64 fluid ounces of water. Even better, half your body weight. So I'm about 200 pounds. That means I should drink about 100 ounces of water a day. Start off first thing in the morning. You want to activate your system, flush it, wake it. So, drink 20, 30 ounces of water. I know that might sound like a lot. And if it is, for starters, start with 10 or 12 or 15 ounces of water and work your way up. But that you'll get a rush of energy. It'll flush your system. Most likely, it may cause you to go to the bathroom, which is great. You'll get those toxins out of your system. So first thing in the morning before coffee or anything else, drink that big glass of water. You will notice a difference. I guarantee it. So try to do that. If you're working out, drink water before, during, and after. And by the way, this formula between, like in my case, 64 fluid ounces and 100 ounces is just all things normally considered. If I'm working out, I need more water. If I'm drinking cups of coffee in the morning, for every cup of caffeine I drink, I need to add an extra water in addition to my normal intake to make up for that diuretic. Same with alcohol. If you have a glass of wine or a beer, you need to drink another glass of water to keep your body hydrated. Tom Brady, like him or not, go blue. I love the guy. He's amazing. He has not lost a step. And his secret to success is hydration. He drinks an insane amount of water. I don't even want to tell you what he does a day, but he keeps his muscles pliable. He keeps his, joints lubricated. He puts it on. All right. The next one, sleep. Guys, we always start the day the night before, and sleep, if you want to lose weight, if you want to regain your health, if you want to, be able to restore your body, your sanity, you have to sleep and sleep well. Now, you can go to Dr. Bruce's website, thesleepdoctor.com, buy his book on Amazon. I highly recommend it. But the short of it, try to get about 8 hours of consistent sleep per night. And maybe at a later time, we'll talk a little bit about that. Our NRF1 activator actually can help you in that regard. Move more and strengthen your body. Core, do planks, strengthen your core, have a solid core. Start with that. Start moving. If you've been sedentary, start with walking and then walk, jog, and then maybe walk, jog, sprint a little bit. But you also need to build, especially if you're aging, you need to build some muscle. We need a place to store the sugar. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass. It atrophies. So we got to do something. And if you go into any gym in America, I always challenge people, and you look around the periphery to those people lifting weights, they look really good. They look really strong. They look really healthy. Those people that are kind of sweating it out on the elliptical machines in the middle, not so good. So it depends on what type of body do you want. There's some people that are really skinny, but their body composition, sadly, most of their tissue is still made up of fat. And so we want to build some lean muscle. It looks great. You'll feel good. You'll be so much stronger. You'll sleep better. So move your body. And another way to move your body is called high-intensity interval training. We won't get into that, but that's a way to really epigenetically spark plug your metabolism. Practice peace, practice stress prevention, understand what the difference between true stress and stressors, learn productive coping mechanisms, not cigarettes, not eating, not, call somebody that you like, pray, meditate, practice positive psychology, listen to something motivational, work out. That's a great stress reliever. But, the Bible admonishes us to follow peace. Jesus said, my peace I will give you, not the peace of this world. So, guys, he greeted everybody, in Jewish customs, they would greet them with that blessing and that posterity and prosperity of shalom. And so we really need to de-stress our body. I do recommend the Porter stress prevention model. It's taught in a lot of bigger cities. We teach it at the corporate wellness program, but there's a lot of great books. And hit me up, hit up my Twitter or Facebook, and I'll recommend some great resources. Stress is a killer. It is a killer. We have to get a handle on it. Along that lines is relational health. Guys, if we have strife with other people, if we're harboring anger and bitterness, we need to let it go. Those people are probably happy, lucky, going on their way, and we're still festering and stewing, and it's eating us up literally from the inside out. And so we need to be able to quick forgive and just be the better person and let that stuff go and live in harmony with everyone. And the last thing is, if you're going around the mountain, if you're struggling with stuff, hire it out. Find somebody that you trust, that you like, that you click with, that has the results on the tree. They have a proven track record of whatever issues you're dealing with, and they're getting people whole, and they're getting people, healthy from a top-down way. That is, they're not jumping immediately to a medication or something. First, guys, I don't mind medications. I don't mind surgeries. I don't mind, but it's not the first line of care. I in the corporate wellness scenario, you can imagine how many people are stressed out. And I'm amazed when we do pharmaceutical reduction programs, the percentages of employees that are on depression medicine, anxiety medicine. And guys, sometimes we need that. Sometimes we're in a rough part. Sometimes we have a biological condition, but I'm telling you, it masks the pain. And the functional medicine method, again, is to get to the root of that cause and to deal with it and to be able to get the body. A lot of times it is hormonal imbalances, or we have problems with our blood-brain barrier. We have leaky gut with brain fog symptoms. We'll talk about that briefly tonight. So hire help if you need it. All right, so those are ways to kind of unhijack your health and to start biohacking your health. Last quote here, a healthy person has 1,000 wishes, a sick person has just one, and that is to get healthy. And that's a German medical publisher, and I love that quote because, guys, there's nothing more important than getting our health back. Truly, our health is our number one health. All right, so let's dive into this. Let me check our time here. All right, I need to get moving. All right, so we're going to talk about biohacking our body. What does that mean? Well, this is a scientific term that we, when it comes to our systems and our biology, how we can use modern technology, and in our case, safe herbal technology that's validated by science to restore our systems. So are we biohacking or are we hijacking? Well, biohacking, we want to optimize our genetic coding. We want to utilize and we want to maximize it. If we're hijacking it, the hijack is something that takes over. It takes over. A car hijacker or whatever. They just take it over by force. Environmental assaults, emotional stressors, biochemical toxins, and even endotoxins we create from our own stress. And then electromagnetics. Guys, there's going to be so much emerging data about screen therapy, digital disease stuff, because we're constantly glued to our phone. We're so, addicted to technology. We're not out getting the vitamin D in nature and grounding and all these different things. And it's going to have some tremendous health, since the emergence of the smartphone. So yeah, unplug and get out and enjoy life. Okay, so tonight I want to talk to you a little bit about what we call nutrigenomics. Now, nutrigenomics is a term, And it's basically the relationship, what we might say our genetic expression. That is, how does our genetic expression, how does food affects our genes? And in this case, we're going to be talking about our activators. So what does that look like? We'll go through that. Another expression is nutrigenetics, and that is the opposite direction. That's what we call genetic variation, and that is our current genetic profile. How does it transcribe when food comes in, when we digest it, when we absorb it, when we assimilate it? What does it do? This is where food allergies, food intolerances, other types of things come into play. But I want to say this about genetics. There are genetic tests you can run right now. There's some decent ones that aren't ancestry, but they're health related for as little as $100 up to about $250. So there's some great stuff, but your genes are not your fate. I tell people, if they're struggling with their weight, fat is not their fault and it's not their fate. We can biohack your metabolism safely. It's called epigenetics. Epi is the Greek term for over genes. So we can actually eclipse your genetic code. We can increase the length of your telomeres, and I won't get into that tonight, but that can really help redesign your body composition. There's a couple people that I have in mind that were weight loss patients of mine about 5-6 years ago. They have totally transcended their body. It's amazing now, night and day, from being very large, very pudgy, to just now very lean and muscular and looking amazing in every way. So it can totally be done. Obviously, it takes time. It's not a quick fix. It's not a 30-day, weight loss program. But if you stick to, and depending on what your goals are, you can definitely get there and make major improvements in your body. This is a quote from Washington State University as far as validation for our NRF2 product, Protandim. We may be on the verge of new literature on the health effects of NRF2, which may become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Guys, this is Washington State University. This is not soft science, and this was not funded by our company. This is a peer-review quote, which is amazing. There's a doctor, a famous MD in our area in the Toledo region that I sat down with, and I was talking to him about this product, and he was so intrigued. He got this smile on his face. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, I was just at the Ohio State Medical Marijuana Conference for the whole weekend, and all they talked about was that cannabis was an NRF2 activator. And that was the most efficacious, properties about it. And it pushed that doorbell to our cells, if you will, to get it to upregulate and to start working properly. And so, guys, what I'm showing you here is a way to do that without getting into the controversy, of that product. The products that we're going to show you tonight that could be benefit to you if you see fit. They're patented. I think there's 6 or 7 U.S. patents and about a dozen global patents. There's also 23 peer-reviewed studies on PubMed.gov. Guys, this is huge. If people in the medical world recognize this. Maybe if you're not, you don't understand how big this is, but let me just say this. If you go to the National Institutes of Health.com and you go ahead and you plug in the word Protandim, which is our marquee product, you're going to find 23 studies. These studies include Ohio State University, University of Michigan, University of Texas, University of Louisville, University of LSU, the Mayo Clinic, Harvard Health, the American Institute of Aging, the American Heart Association. These are big time studies that are showing the positive aspects of this product. Guys, that does not happen. Vitamin companies don't get peer-reviewed studies. Pharmaceuticals do. Other types of biochemistry, and pharmacology studies are published on there. So that's amazing that this does this. And it was astonishing to me when I read that. I was just overwhelmed how I'd missed that for so many years. I'd missed this product in my life and with people that I know desperately need it. So the 4 areas we want to quickly go through here are our NRF2 pathway, or NRF1 pathway, our omegas for cell health and function, and as well as gut health and the immune boosting properties we have in our probiotic. So supplementation versus activation. This is what we're talking about. Why would all these major universities, Ohio State and the Mayo Clinic, be researching these products I'm about to show you? Well, because they activate. See, a supplement, yes, they're safe. And if we have a deficiency, they can restore that deficiency. And guys, there's a lot of need for certain supplements. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater here. But in a lot of cases, there's not a lot of science behind them. The quality control for a lot of companies is lacking. And so, in functional medicine, we want to test. We don't want to guess with our health. Whereas our activators, yes, they're safe. They're all herbal, but they're just loaded with validated peer review research. That speaks volumes to me that you can actually know that under the microscope it is doing what to the cells what it claims it will do, and it has great synergistic benefits. I'll show you that in a quick sec. And it's indigenous. It's from the inside out. We're activating. We're turning on cells so that they can start to work properly. So what is all the hype? Well, Protandim is our NRF2 activator. This is a product that if you have not watched the ABC video, it was produced in around 2005, 2006. ABC Primetime actually did a video on Protandim, and they did an investigative report to see what is all the hype on this product. And there's YouTube videos on my channel, and we can post them and send them to you. There's a little clip that's 7 or 8 minutes that encapsulates that article, but it's amazing. And, ABC wanted to kind of investigate this, and it became a huge product endorsement for this product, because this product, the very first peer-reviewed study, showed that it reduced oxidative stress, or what we would call cellular stress, by 40% in just 30 days for a product that costs $40. That is huge. It went on to show that product would decrease oxidative stress by up to 74% in the first 4 months. Guys, that's taking our T-bars, our level of oxidation that has built up through the years, which is, that oxidation, that's what causes cellular damage. It causes DNA breakdown. It basically is that same oxygen that we live also causes us to slowly die, is restored back to the level of, a 20-year-old or less with this product. It's amazing. Now, so what's the difference between supplementation and activation? I always like to talk, my classic analogy is blueberries. We all know that, blueberries are delicious. An organic pint of blueberries will neutralize about 6,500 free radicals. And that sounds pretty, on a 1-to-1 and then done basis, but that sounds pretty amazing until you realize that there's hundreds and hundreds. They guesstimate, and I don't even know how they do this, our body can make up to 300 sextrillion free radicals or reactive oxidative species. That's 20 zeros. I didn't even know there was a number that big in a day. 6,500 does not get it done. And so, a lot of the vitamin C's and a lot of the vitamin E's and a lot of the phytonutrient claims, it's not that they're bad, and the body knows how to assimilate and use them. And we need to do everything we can to move the needle. Get this, Protandim has been clinically proven to neutralize 1 million free radicals per second for the life of a molecule, which is 13 days. Now, that just sounds, when you first hear that, it's okay to be a little bit skeptical. I can deal with skeptical. I can't deal with cynics. But when you look at the science behind it, that's just amazing. And it's because these patented formats where they play with these 5 different herbs to get this synergistic effect that cause that. Let me show you a quick little slide here. you'll see these 5 herbs: milk thistle, bocapa, ashwagandha, and green tea extract, and turmeric. When taken on their own, you can look at the bottom. If you have a big enough screen, if you're on a cell phone, you probably can't see this, but they do move the needle a little bit as far as reducing the oxidative stress. But in the synergistic patented formula that these herbs were arranged by a guy named Joseph McCord, who, by the way, in 1997 won the Elliott Crescent Award, given by the Ben Franklin Institute as the top scientist on the planet. So he obviously knew his stuff. He did that because he had learned about a pathway, a superoxide dismutates is what he discovered, and this was one of the this formula was able to upregulate those superoxidants that clean up all these free radicals in our system. That's actually how it works. So that's a little bit on the science behind it. That's our NRF2. NRF1, switching gears, upregulates our mitochondria. Now, these are basically the spark plug or the power centers of our cells. If you were to pull all the mitochondria out of your body, the average person, they would weigh about 10 pounds. That's how significant they are. And these are responsible for our ATP energy. These are the catalysts, if you will. These are the initiators. And when we're in a metabolic situation, obviously certain cancers or certain things where our body's defense systems are compromised, they're weakened, they don't have the power to be able to fight off certain illnesses. That's what our mitochondria function is needed, and our NRF1 activator does that. It upregulates, it restores the quantity and the quality of these, and that's a look at our NRF1 product. Let's move on to gut health and GI health. Now, if you look at these bags of bugs, as I call them, in our GI tract, this is our upper and our lower GI tract, and obviously it's housing a lot of waste, it's housing a lot of things that will be eventually eliminated when we use the bathroom. They guesstimate there's 100 trillion cells. These are little microorganisms. These are not our human cells, by the way. These are good, bad, neutral, what we call commensal bacteria, viruses, yeast, protozoa, all types of little organisms that God has put into our system to manage and do different jobs. So, we always thought germs were bad for us. Well, guess what? A lot of these germs are a huge part. They assimilate vitamins. They're a big part of our communication and our hormonal process. They're a huge part. They're the overwhelming majority of our immune system is housed right in our gut. So when Michael had put this slide together, he wanted to do something what we call the gut-brain axis, and that is our body is a system. Our whole body communicates. Even in our bone marrow, it communicates. There's communication processes that go out through our whole body, through our bone marrow. Like the psalmists say, our bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made. They're truly amazing. And our brain and our gut are vitally connected. Again, Jewish cultures called our gut the second brain because it housed all those hormones. 80% of our serotonin, our feel-good hormones, are in our gut. That's why sometimes, when we're happy or when we're distressed or whatever, we feel it in our gut. Things manifest. But the gut-brain connection, that axis, is really profound. And in what we're seeing here on the left is a slide for leaky gut. What that happens is these bags of bugs that obviously have a lot of waste, a lot of gases, a lot of products that need to be eliminated, eventually as they work their way down through the colon. These junctions, our gut cell walls are only 1 cell thick, and they can get compromised at the tight junctions. And poop can actually leak, and gases, methanol and things can leak into our system that can cause obviously inflammation and antibody response that can lead, eventually full-blown into autoimmunity. That's what they call gut permeability or leaky gut syndrome. Now, a lot of gastroenterologists discounted this for years. In the last handful of years, this has become painfully obvious that this is a situation that many Americans deal with, and it needs to be dealt with. Those tight junctions can be reformatted, and we can close that little gap. See, they're semi-permeable because part of the role of the gut is to be able to allow certain nutrients, smaller, to be able to pass through. That's how certain nutrients are getting assimilated in the body, in the belly, and then passed in to restore, tissue damage in the rest of our body. But what happens a lot of times is when they get too big, when these junctions get so wide, then bigger macro type nutrients get through. Things like casein that you'd find in a milk product, other types of phytates in soy, anti-nutrients like the protein zonulin you'd find in wheat. But the biggest culprit of all, guys, is gluten. These 200 to 300 proteins that the more you learn about gluten, the more you would not want you would want to minimize or completely eliminate gluten. Here's what gluten does. It's called molecular mimicry. It's a master of disguise. It resembles thyroid cells, and so the gut, thinking it's a good it's a good passenger, often will allow that to pass through. And so a lot of people with leaky gut syndrome or gut permeability are dealing with thyroid, Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, hyper and hypothyroidism. And so that stems with gut health. So we can we can just look at hormonal balances and look at those adrenals and thyroids and the glands, or we can at the systematic fix the system, and the symptom should take care of itself. Let's talk about our product in general, our probiotic, because I love this one and it's affordable. It has a thing called BioTrack technology, and it has another thing called Wellmune. The short of these two components in our specific probiotic is that they have a time release capsule. The majority of probiotics, sadly, less than 10%, this graph shows less than 5%, actually make it through the stomach digestive acids and get down into our upper and then our GI tract where it needs to work. Where those beneficial probiotic bacteria need to get. Studies have shown that ours, because it has that time release BioTrack technology, does get down. More than 60% those strains of bacteria make it down. Guys, that's huge. So we can spend a lot of money on certain probiotics and get very few health benefits out of them. It's a classic people that have taken a multivitamin and they pee really bright yellow afterwards. You'll realize that your body's not absorbing, they're not digesting, they're not assimilating those nutrients. It's kind of going in and we're peeing it right out. The other part of that, our probiotic, is it does have something specifically designed to tighten up those leaky junctions called Wellmune. And by the way, on the PDFs I'll email out everybody, there is the LifeVantage links, and there's lots of videos and product descriptions that you can be able to see on these. So that's our probiotic. It's about a $40 product, and I put it in the ranks of clinical. Guys, some probiotics that we move are anywhere from $65 to $80 up to $250 a month. Here's a way to get a really good one at affordable rates. Quickly, as we need to quickly move through these last couple slides, our omega. Guys, the omega-3s are huge for our health, for our cellular health. We have a really good one from Sustainable Wild-Caught Fish. Again, I will send you out a link so you can watch the video and download the product PDF on that. And we have a Vitality Stack where you can get all 4 of these products at a discounted rate with free shipping. So that's an amazing offer that they just kind of launched. We kind of hit on brain fog. Another product that I love, and they're super affordable, are Axio energy drinks. They're clean. You get the benefits of a lot of the B-type vitamins. There's even a caffeinated version of those that give you is a great natural pick-me-up. And again, I really recommend, with summer coming on, you can freeze these and make popsicles for kids. You can do a lot of great stuff. It's a great alternative to Gatorade and some of the stuff just loaded with high fructose corn syrup derivatives. This shows a 9-year-old taking Protandim and Axio after a week, and you see the difference, that it really made in his handwriting and his cognitive clarity, which is amazing. That's awesome. I love to see those kind of things. We have a full weight line of products. I won't go into all the physique stuff, but they're amazing. We have a dog product called Pet Tandem that does the same things for your dog. So if you have an aging dog, that's something that you can put on. That product, I believe, is $25, so it's pretty affordable. And a smaller dog, you can actually break those in half. And then our last product line is our skincare line. You can see a baby that was suffering from eczema, a lady that had severe acne, and a lady at the bottom that had psoriasis on her legs. And this is after a handful of months. Obviously, the baby wasn't taking Protandim, just using the skin cream that had the NRF2 activator in it. But the adults were taking the product internally and then rubbing the skin cream, and just amazing results without having to take a biologic like a Humira or some toxic drug. And the skincare products are very affordable for most skincare lines. It's our weight management program. Let me just kind of end with this, guys. When we talk about inflammation, when we talk about oxidative stress, if we had a fire in our house, we would, if the firemen showed up with a little Dixie cup of water, we'd be like, what's that? That obviously is not going to put out the fire. Sadly, that's what we're trying to do a lot of times when we're trying to use general antioxidants to slow down cellular aging and to put out some of these things. We have the products that are affordable for the average person to be able to get on them and to be able to restore their health. So I let people know that the 1-a-day vitamin. 1-a-day vitamin, and now we're talking about 1 million per second. So there's major, that's fabulous that we have access to these things that we can work into our budget. Last thing, guys, I'll tell you this and we'll close, is Dr. Carol Bolin, a naturopath in Bowling Green, actually has the Dutch test now in her office. You can order a simple meeting with her, and you can order that Dutch test, and it measures a whole bunch of markers, but oxidative stress is one of those things. So if you're anxious to see where you are, you can take that test, get on the Protandim, do a follow-up test, and you can see for yourself your level of T-bars will go down dramatically. So I appreciate you guys getting on. Shoot me either, hit me up on Facebook. I'm at John Mark Rankins, or the person that invited you to be on this product. I have a healthy recipe PDF, as well as my favorite holistic and functional medicine practitioners, a PDF with all their web links that will give you a bunch of great blogs, a bunch of great stuff to research. Again, if you're in really dire straits, see somebody personally. But if you want to start to get educated properly, I highly recommend you start spending time and get your family members on those different blogs. You will learn a ton, and you'll be happy for it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I thank you guys. I know they're going to be having an opportunity showcase here soon at 9, but thank you guys for getting on. I want to thank the Hueys for allowing me, and we'll be shutting her down right now. Everyone have a good night.